Welcome to the Woman Waves podcast. We have some amazing women on today. We've got the wonderful Taj Atwal, we've got Ishrat Hussain, and we've got Tewo Adebola. So Taj, tell us what you've been up to, and we see that you're an actress and you've just finished Line of Duty.
Yeah, well, Line of Duty I wasn't in this series because it clashed with another series that I am in. That's on every Tuesday, and I just couldn't get the dates to work, so I had to choose. So I'm in the Syndicate. But a lot of people have told me or asked me, why am I not in this series of Line of Duty? And it's just one of those things. Just my luck. I couldn't get the dates to work, unfortunately.
Was it a big decision to make? Because when you're a regular in something.
Yeah, especially something as big as Line of Duty. It's never an easy choice to turn down something like that. But I'm still young and I'm still kind of hungry and wanting to play just different characters. And Kay had asked me to read the scripts for the Syndicate, and I just fell in love with it straight away. It was so high vibe, high energy, fun, warm, and just that kind of beautiful northern drama. But there's a character in there that everyone can relate to, whether you're from the north or the south. And I'd worked with Kay before as well, so it's hard to say no to it.
Well, it's got to be done. If once you fall in love with the script, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're taken.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have Ishrat. Tell us what you've been up to. We heard that you've been working with the Girls Network on a police scheme.
There's three of us, and we're mentoring senior officers from the Met Police. So I'm mentoring the Commissioner of Frontline Policing, and then we have a lot of other important people. It's a really scary experience because there's someone that's so high up, and I get really nervous talking to her, but it's really it's fun, and it's getting to know someone on a deeper level that I wouldn't have known that she was like that if I hadn't mentored her. And I'm really excited to see where it's going because I've only had my second session and the third one is coming up soon. So yeah, looking forward to see how it's going to turn out.
Tell us a little bit about the programme. What's the idea behind it?
So I don't know if everybody holds the same view as I do, but there's a lot of reform that needs to happen within the Met Police. And so each of us, the three girls who are mentoring them, we have a specific kind of issue that we'd like to kind of tackle with alongside the Met Police. And for me, the big one that I'm focusing on is stop and search. And then there's also domestic violence and I think cyber crimes. So that's the whole thing behind it. That's what we're doing. So it's really interesting to see how the police members themselves feel about certain issues.
That's amazing.
I'm so interested to see how it goes because obviously it's you're having these one-to-one meetings and how old are you, Ishrat, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 18 last week.
You just turned 18 last week and you are mentoring some police officers to tell them how to do their job, which is really cool. And we have our final guest, who is Tewo. Tell us about yourself and the Girls Network, of course.
So, hi, I'm Tewo from the Girls Network. I'm the program coordinator, and we run a program across the country, setting up young girls from the age 14 to 18 with mentors in the professional working world. And we believe that girls shouldn't be limited by their backgrounds, by their gender, by their age, and when they're matched with a mentor, they go on a year-long mentoring journey to introduce them to new networks and to just open their eyes outside of the boxes that they may be living in. So that's what we do.
How long have you been working there?
I've just been here just over a year. So I started just when the pandemic began. So it's been a ride, but it's been really, really, really worth it.
Amazing. So cool. It's so good to just hear what you guys have been up to. And Ishrat, with the scheme that you're doing now, did you also have a mentor yourself when you first joined?
Yes, I did about 2 years ago when I was in year 11. I had a mentor, and she's been like really helpful. She was really helpful. She helped me like build my confidence, and if it weren't for her, I don't think I would have applied for the program that I'm doing now. So
And have you struggled with confidence? Has the Girls Network helped you find confidence?
I think the Girls Network has been really helpful, and there's a lot of other opportunities that I've had that I wouldn't have had if it weren't for the Girls Network, and it's just been really helpful in like helping me build my confidence. Because at first, when I was in secondary school, I wasn't I wasn't really like confident, or I was really shy. So now I don't think that it's the same thing. So
That's amazing. And Taj, I was just going to ask if you ever struggled with confidence when you first started acting, or just in general.
I don't think I've ever been shy. I've never been shy, the shy and retiring kind, but you know, being Indian, you just can't really get away with being shy because everybody's so loud and vivacious, and you know, the elder generations in our family are even louder than us, and the younger kids always have to kind of tell them to tone it down. But insecurity, for sure. Confidence doesn't always equate to being so secure, if that makes sense. So I can absolutely hold my own in a group situation or talk to whoever, but there's so many different kinds of insecurities and what you're insecure about, you know. And there's definitely moments of that I've experienced, for sure.
And has it grown more, like, have you gotten over your insecurity during like working as an actor? Because I know sometimes it could create more insecurity because it's such a wild cutthroat industry.
Yeah, I mean, I used to spend years comparing myself, like in my early 20s, just constantly looking what other actresses were doing that I wanted to do. But it's just such a waste of, for me, I realised very quickly, it's just a waste of energy because we are all different and there's room for everyone and there's jobs, there's different parts for everyone, and I can't play everything and do everything. And you know, sometimes I read a script now and I think this is another actress's job. Somebody else could probably do this better than I could, or, you know, and when I started looking at things in a different light, that level of insecurity around my career absolutely changed. And also now when I get a no, I don't beat myself up about it. I don't get down because, again, I've learned every single time no is just a redirection to something better and more suited to me. Every time I've seen that. And you might not see it straight away. It might be a year down the line. But you'll look back and think, that's why I got that no, because I'm now doing this.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's just changing the words that you use around situations like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a really great way to look at it. For sure. I know I've definitely had some moments of doubting myself. So it's very nice to hear.
How did you first get into acting? Do you remember, like, what was your first memory?
Yeah, well, I've always been a bit of a kind of show off. Even though actually when I was a little girl I was really, really insecure and I was really, really little, but I'd always be in the living room wearing different saris or something, like full on dancing and performing to every single person that came round. So that element has always been there. And then around my teenage years, I kind of wanted to put my hand to everything. I wanted to be a boxer. I wanted to modify cars and do car racing. I wanted to be a hairdresser. So I had a few years where I wasn't sure, and that's completely normal. But my school kind of encouraged me to, I can't remember who it was, or maybe I just did it off my own back, but I applied for a BTEC in drama at York College in performing arts, and I think I was a Saturday girl at hairdressers at the time, so I was still unsure of whether that was what I wanted to do. And as soon as I got there, I thought, yeah, this is for me. and the tutors were just incredible and just constantly encouraged me to apply myself. Just done it ever since.
Yeah, there you go. You're out here living the dream.
Yeah.
Did you find it hard coming like from the countryside into the industry?
To London.
Yeah. A lot of people say, you know, some people like find it difficult to get out of the country and step into
Small town
world.
Yeah, I mean, all my friends are still there and they, you know, they're really happy there. I think just in my heart, I always knew I wanted something different and expansion and growth, and which you can get in the area that you're in. But I'm a bit of a traveller in the fact that I love to explore the rest of the world and be out and about. And I don't think it hindered me being from a village or anything. Coming into acting, look, being from an Indian heritage, it's so colourful and it's so vivacious and it's so like we're raised watching Indian films, which is pure singing and dancing, and it's always there in our kind of lives. So, you know, regardless of coming from a small place or not, that part of me, that performing part was always in me anyway.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so your new series, The Syndicate, that's just come out recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, it started yesterday.
Woo!
Tell us a little bit about that. What's it about? What's your character like?
So it's every series is the same premise, which is a group of people put into a syndicate, which is a lottery syndicate, and they win. And then it's a kind of journey around their lives and what happens thereafter and before. And this particular one, we all work for the Woodvale Dog Kennels. And everyone's got their own individual storyline and subtext and life issues. And aside of that, we win the lottery, but our ticket goes missing, as everyone saw last night, and we go on a wild goose chase to Monaco to track it down. But the driving force of us trying to track that money down isn't because we just want to be rich and famous. There is elements of all that excitement of wanting all these, you know, cars and stuff. But actually, you could really quickly realise each character has a real need for money, a desperate kind of need for money, because the job that they're in is currently potentially about to go because the kennels are going to be sold. So you've got that, as well as all, in my particular character, I'm pregnant and I live at home with my parents still, and I have this boyfriend who's unsure whether he wants to have the baby with me, and kind of more gets revealed of why I want a baby so badly as the series progresses.
Oh, that sounds so good.
What a wild concept.
Adding that to the list. I
know, there is so much fun and really moving stories and real human elements to every story, you know. We're talking about 0-hour contracts and people, you know, one character is having to sleep on a sofa at work, and stuff that people can genuinely relate to. The pregnancy storyline as well. There is genuinely something in it for everyone.
Yeah.
It sounds it.
It sounds very grounding. It's I've never seen anything like that before.
No.
Kay is just, she really gets under the skin of people. You know, when you watch these characters, everyone knows a character like one of us in this series, and anything that she's ever written, it really does not matter whether you're from the north or not. It's the human element of each character.
I think they're the best series when everyone can relate to someone.
Yeah. I mean, you want to find a common ground with what you're watching. Well, I do. I, you know, try to find a common ground with. I mean, some stuff I can't, obviously, but you know, villains and things like that. But you know, I'm sure even villainous characters have a human side, have a warm side, maybe down the line of today. So yeah, she finds the human element in every character.
Yeah.
Would you like to play a villain?
I played one actually. I'm in a series called Truth Seekers on Amazon Prime that Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, James Saranovich and Nat Saunders wrote, and I play a villain. So, and it's really funny because I play a villain but with a really naive side. So there's somebody even more villainous than me, and I'm under their powers, and I want to please him. The character's played by Julian Barrett from The Mighty Boosh, and he's even more villainous than me, and he actually coaxes me, and I'm I'm under his spell, so I even have my own kind of naive side, which is insane. But yeah, I've really loved getting under the skin of Alara.
Love that. Love that. What's it like to play like different characters? How do you get into character?
I used to work with this phenomenal acting coach called Dee Cannon, who sadly passed away last year, and she's got this fantastic book. Oh, goodness me, what's it called now? I can't remember. And it's called In-Depth Acting. And it's just always starting with trying to find a common ground with your character. Is there anything in that character that is similar to you? If there's not, is there anyone that you know that's got similar qualities? Okay, if there's no one that you know, is there anyone that you've seen historically or something? And piecing together these qualities that build a character. The good and the bad. You've got to be objective. I can't just say my character's really, really lovely. It's kind of more than that. You know, we all have light and shade, and then just building it outwards. I think costume for me is a really big part of it as well. I always create a mood board for every character I've ever done, and I try to work closely with the design team, sending mood boards across of what I think visually the character looks like, and what we kind of trying to come together on the same page for that.
Nice.
Loads of different elements.
Love it.
Ishrat, have you always wanted to work in the police? Are you looking to continue your time in working with the police at the moment, or are you looking to do something else in life?
Something else. I don't think I'd be interested in working with the police, but at the moment, I really am enjoying working with them. I don't think I'd like to be a police officer though. I think it's a lot of pressure, and I don't know if I'll always do the right thing. So, but it's really nice getting to know an actual police officer. It makes me sometimes think maybe I might want to.
Okay. So what are the dreams for the future, if you have any?
I'd like to become a lobbyist. I really like politics, but being a politician isn't my thing. Like I wouldn't want to be scrutinized like every second of my life. So being a lobbyist is like the same, not the same thing, but at least I get to like have some influence over like shaping laws, but not too much out in the front.
I guess working in this scheme will help you like understand more about the police, and then working as a lobbyist, you'll have this information.
Yeah,
moving
definitely.
forward.
I think there's a lot of like aspects within the police that are like associated with the law, and it's not something that I did know before. So this program has like helped me like realize that there's a lot more that I don't know, and it's been really helpful in that sense.
Probably really helpful for the police officer that you're mentoring as well, because I think it's really important that like mentoring, it's a two-way street, and I think people can get just as much out of it on the other end, and it's probably like really insightful for this police, is it a policewoman that you're working with?
It is, yeah,
for her to kind of hear your stories and hear about your life, and I guess that's going to impact her quite a lot as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it has been really helpful for her too, especially because stop and search, the area that we're focusing on, is like it affects young people a lot, and specifically ethnic minorities, and it's most apparent in like boroughs that are like predominantly ethnic minorities, which is a borough that I live in, and it's like this has the second highest stop and search rate or something like that. So I think it is really helpful for her to get the perspective of someone who's like seen stuff like this, like from first-hand experiences. So yeah, I think it works both ways, definitely.
What an amazing tool that the Girls Network have created.
What's it like in the sessions? Like what have you guys been talking about?
Oh, so nerve-wracking. I remember the first one, I like I pretended that I had connectivity issues so I wouldn't
Oh.
have to like go on it because I
Oh.
was so nervous. But she's such a nice person, and there's like a lot of talking on both sides, so I don't have to feel nervous. And I didn't think that I would feel like comfortable talking to a police officer, and especially since I've seen like a lot of like abuse of power in the area that I live in, and someone so high up, like I didn't think I'd ever feel comfortable talking to her, but she's a really nice person, and it's like eye-opening kind of because you see like the difference in like or like the similarities in how both groups feel, young people and police officers. But yeah, the sessions are really fun. Looking forward to the next one that I have with her, but we're coming up with like a plan on how to tackle like the different issues. Yeah.
So good.
It's just brilliant to see things moving during this time. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, it really is. Taiwo, how have you found working with the Girls Network?
It's been amazing for me. I really wish I had something like this when I was at school. So I'm really happy to be like helping other people experience this because it's something that you wouldn't think exists, but when you realize it does, it's like, wow, that's so needed. And I feel like every young girl needs someone to look up to, that's outside of their sphere, so they can see like, oh, this person came from a this person came from this certain background or similar to me, but they still got to where they want to go, and I can make that, and I can break the boundaries that are like, holding me in. So I think, and I'm a mentor myself, so I have a mentee called Louise, and she's so lovely. And I think what's so amazing is I've been to one matching session, and in the matching sessions, we do like speed dating. We go around, just talk to each of the mentees, and it was really amazing to see them come out of their shelter. These are young girls talking to people that they've never seen before, but the confidence in some of them was so amazing, and their enthusiasm and just opening up their network. You could see that they were really excited to just talk to people who are professionals and people who have similar like traits to them, and yeah, it's just really amazing to see their confidence grow, and just being involved in that is major for me.
That's incredible. Yeah, definitely. And what's the matching sessions like? How do you kind of see who you think will fit well with a mentor?
So there's like pre-matching, so the network managers kind of gauge based off applications who's kind of good fit, who fits well with who, but then there's an opportunity to speak to all the mentees, so there could be someone who really click well together, but they're not really in the same field, but you can see that they can bring out the best in each other. So I think that's what the matching event is about, just getting the girls to get them out of their comfort zone, because some of them are really shy and don't like speaking to new people. But when they get into the room and they're in this situation where they need to converse with people they don't know, you see a lot come out of them, and the mentors themselves really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it because young girls are just so funny. I think they're so funny, and they're so interesting, and I just love how they're open books and they ask you anything, like so yeah, it's really enjoyable.
Young women are so impressionable that I feel like it is so important to have a mentor.
Yeah.
Someone that they can look up to. You're exactly right. I think it's super important. Have you, Taj, ever mentored anyone or been mentored yourself?
No, but I mean, this sounds fantastic. I'd love to know what the age group is on it just get my sister to get on it. But I would have loved something like that at college. I mean, I just think it's incredible. I mean, I've done workshops and things like that for young actors, and I've given advice and stuff, but I would have really could have used something like that. I mean, luckily I was fortunate that I had tutors that ended up becoming kind of like my mentors, but I ended up having to find my own just find my own feet with things, and you know, obviously being an Indian actress as well, British Indian actress, it was didn't really know who to speak to be honest, about stuff like, you know, going into the career in acting, and incredibly important for young women to have something like that.
Do you think as an Indian actress it's pulled you back as an actress? Have you found any struggles with it, or?
No, I think I mainly had my own self-limiting beliefs. I think definitely when I first started, actually, the first five years, there was not that many, if any, roles for someone. I think people weren't really open to seeing someone like me play a character that wasn't probably stereotypical. And luckily, Ruth Jones wrote this series and called Stella. That it was my first ever TV job. And when I read the character, I thought, oh my goodness, this is so the essence of what I actually was as a teenager. And I was so blown away by it. And it was comedy, and I got to play, you know, and I was a Northerner, and all these like elements of what I genuinely experienced. And there was no kind of stereotypical storyline at all, and it was really refreshing. But the 5 years after that, it was few and far between finding those kind of roles, and now it's, you know, people are way more attuned and more open to seeing past.
What's as a Welsh person, I have to ask, what was it like working with Ruth Jones?
Oh, it was so good. I'm so humbled and blessed and thankful that I got that. I really am. It was like the absolute perfect training ground for me. And I just love the Welsh. I love the Welsh Branwen, and I am so desperate to play a Welsh character. I want to play a Welsh Indian woman.
Do it.
Oh, would love it. I would love it.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it was just such a great time, and we got to go all around the valleys, and we're shooting, and you know, everywhere that you can think of, and people loved it. They would come out at 7 o'clock in the morning and kind of make camp outside where we're shooting, just to, you know, get a glimpse of Ruth. And it was so exciting. I remember a bus driver with the bus. I think we were over in Bargoed somewhere, and the bus stopped with everyone on it. And like, just to see what was going on in it. Yeah, it was
funny.
People are so supportive of Ruth out there, and all the kind of big Welsh actors. And it was great to just be a part of that and see a glimpse of it as this kind of young, impressionable actress.
Yeah, she's amazing. We went to Barry Island over Christmas, and we had to drive up that street where Gavin and Stacey was filmed, and the house that they film in, so Stacey's house, they've actually turned it into like this Gavin and Stacey shrine.
I bet.
And this woman still lives there. She said that since they filmed there, she's had 22,000 people visit her house.
There's tools.
And she like lets them in. She's like, come in. She's so welcoming.
Oh, that's what I love. You'd go and film in the valleys, and people are like, do you want a cup of tea? You can come in, and all this stuff. And it's just, you know, and I've heard there's Gavin and Stacey tours to Barry Island and around the houses and stuff. So it's rightly so. She's a fantastic writer and actress.
Imagine people just coming up and knocking at your door.
I know.
Come in.
You don't get that in London, do you?
But you definitely wouldn't. You wouldn't dare knock on
No.
someone's door.
Can you imagine? You'd be like, who's that? No, you're right. God, I know. It's the northern thing, isn't it?
Definitely.
Taj, would you ever write your own? If the right role doesn't turn up, would you write your own?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a writer anyway, so there's about a billion different stories and characters that I've got up my sleeve that I will actually eventually sit down and write when I get a bit of quiet time from acting. Yeah, there's tons of characters, loads of historical characters as well that I'd like to play. So yeah, I'll get there eventually. It's just, I don't know if you write, but it's just juggling both. When I'm on set and I'm on a shoot, I can't even read a book because I'm so in the script that even relaxing with a book, I can't do it. Yeah. So I've taken this book. I don't know if you ladies have ever read it. It's called The Daily Stoic, and photographer Joseph, who I worked with recently, recommended me Joseph Sinclair, and it's about the Stoics. It's quotes from the Stoics of the Roman times, and you just read one a day and you really let it digest, and it's kind of help you live a peaceful living. That's probably the only thing I'll be able to do. I can't even write when I'm filming. Don't know about you, Alicia. It's kind of hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I if I read a book, then I'm somewhere else, and it's just like I lose myself in the book, and then I'll come on set and think I'm there in the book.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a Sudoku sort of
cleverer than
sort of
me.
lady.
Wow. I'm not even that. I need to watch reality, something so like easy, digestible. That's just gotta go in and out, because the hours, you know, you get up at 4 and you come home at 10. It's like I couldn't be doing Sudoku. No, you clever clogs. I was resetting maths.
Holiday whilst you're in. Oh, I did the same. But Sudoku seems to be my only release to maths.
Wow.
And that's it. I don't go as far. What message, as a woman, would you want to share with the world? Do you have any advice for us ladies?
I think the advice I would give is to not limit yourself, because I think we tend to do that as women a lot. I find that I do that. We limit ourselves to what we can see now. I feel like it's really important to envision where you want to be and really chase and fight to get there. I think there's nothing that's impossible. Everything that you put your mind to, you can actually do. So the message I would give is, don't limit yourself in any area. If you want to do something, try, and if you fail, try again. Keep getting up, and keep going. It's a message to myself right now, actually.
Yeah. Taj, any inspiring words that we can take forward?
Do you know, the one thing I wish I had been told and really kind of instilled into me is setting boundaries when you're younger, especially when you're a young, impressionable woman, setting boundaries. And that it is absolutely okay to say no. And also, if someone says no to you, don't take it so personally. It genuinely is a redirection to something better.
So true.
And it's super, super simple. But again, like what Taylor said, it's just not believing in any kind of lack or limiting self-belief, because you can go for whatever you desire. But setting boundaries is so important.
Hard though. It's hard to set boundaries, isn't it? Like,
but when you get older and in your 30s, you don't care about saying no and be like, no, it doesn't work for me, I'm not doing it. I don't know what it is. You just come home to yourself and you're just like, no, I don't want to do that, or and not having to explain yourself.
Yeah.
I used to feel so guilt. I don't know if you girls ever have just the guilt that comes with saying no, that doesn't work for me, or I don't want to do that, or I'm not happy with that, and then you just go away thinking. It goes back to what you said, Ty. It's like this kind of similar to thing, or like the people pleasing and thinking that you're limiting yourself to please others, when actually it's fine. People can take what they want.
I feel like a no. What you said about a no is like not the end of the world. I used to literally think a no was like world is crashing down, crumbling, and I feel like as you mature, you really understand that. Okay, that's a no, but the next one could be a yes, and there's a door there, and that one closed, but there's another one there, and I feel like it definitely comes with maturity and age, and just keep like perseverance and keeping going, which helps you realize that.
Yeah, it's
absolutely
definitely comes with like learning about yourself and trying to understand your needs and wants, which is whilst you're in your teens, I found quite difficult trying to navigate.
You don't know who you are, or I didn't know who I was when I was 20. I spent so long trying to just please everyone else and figuring it out, and it's it just takes time.
Yeah, definitely. Ishrat, did you come up with a golden nugget for us?
I was thinking maybe accept yourself and the differences. because not everybody is the same, and there's like a perception of perfection is different for everybody. So if you try to conform to someone else's perception of perfection, then that that would affect you. So, and it could have a negative impact on you too. And especially in this day and age where social media is so prevalent and it's so like important to us, and a lot of like young girls, they kind of shape themselves depending on what social media says is okay and acceptable. And I think if you, before you do any of that, if you are at peace with yourself and accept yourself and how you are, then you wouldn't be prone to being manipulated by the image that is everywhere else.
It was a golden nugget.
That was so powerful, really
Thank
good.
you. So on the back of that, Taj, I know you were saying about rejection and dealing with rejection before, but has there been like one massive role that you've wanted so bad and the rejection was super hard, but you learned a huge lesson from it?
I mean, there's been tons. I can't even remember now. There's been that many. Can't even think now off the top of my head, to be honest, because I've just so come out of that energy. But there was loads growing up, to be honest. But now I just look back on it. I mean, like now I honestly can't even remember what they were because it just changed my attitude to it. And I get no's all the time, but out of those no's, a yes will eventually come, and I just know that. And just having faith in myself and my agent, and knowing that work is always created. Every millisecond of the day, a story has been created. So it's only a matter of time till you align yourself with that project.
Definitely, yeah.
That's
I can't think of the one. I cried loads of times in my room thinking, why?
That's really good advice. I think what you just said then about you can't remember because you're not in that energy anymore. I think as soon as you like change your perspective and the way that you see a situation, it can just change your entire being, because it's kind of like you're not taking that rejection anymore as like a negative thing. It's not impacting your life that bad. You're just like taking it on the chin and then moving on to the next one. I think so many people can benefit from taking that advice, for sure.
I think it's okay if you want to feel upset and cry and have a good old cry for an hour or two or a day or two. It's absolutely fine. It's just not sitting in that energy for weeks on end.
Yeah.
Have a day or two where you want to feel it. I sometimes even, there's not just work or other things, I'll just honour that emotion for a day or two, but I don't dwell on it for weeks. It just doesn't benefit
healthy,
me.
Is it? Use your mind power somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to know, Taj, because I still haven't found like a particular way to do it. But how do you create your character before you go on set, before everything happens?
It depends how many hours you put in, to be honest. I, for example, I'll get a little workbook, like those old school workbooks that you used to get at school, and I'll write the character's name on top of it. And I put her job and her age. And then I use that book and I go through the script. I must read the script every day if I can, because there's always a new nugget that you can find. And I'll write down, what do all the other characters say about me? So then I know what their impressions are of me. What do I say about myself? Then I can, from that, create some personality traits, light and shade personality traits. Get 4 or 5, start with 10, whittle it down to 5 that you can actually play, because you can't play 10 character personality traits on screen in a scene. You're going to probably play 1 or 2 depending on the scene.
You'll be all over the place.
And then I just try to think, okay, is there anyone that I know? Am I similar to any of these traits? Okay, if there's 3 of those traits that's similar to me, but 2 that's similar to my sister, my brother, my best friend, or someone that I met in the street. And I start building the character that way, and every scene is going to be different. If you've got 10 character traits where one day you're vulnerable, you're fearful, but you're also passionate and down to earth and loyal, you might play 3 of those traits in a scene that lends itself to those traits. And then within this workbook, I'll start building it up. I'll start writing down all the plot points of the story. What does my character want overall in life? What does she want in the arc of the story? And then what does she want per scene? And I write down all the other characters. I write down everything what we know about all of those other characters as well. And then I start doing visual stuff. Costume, what does she look like? Hair, shoes. What's the world like? You know, is it set in a certain period of time? Is it now? Okay, what's going on now? The climate. Is it set in Italy? Well, what's Italy like? What would your mannerisms be like if you're out there? And I spent months doing that, just really building it up and fine tuning. And then really when you've done all that work, that groundwork is there and you've learnt the lines, when you go to set, it should just be there and you're playing the scene. Playing the scene. And sometimes I'll write down actions, which is I know exactly what action I'm going to play. So to goad, to reassure, just have a basis of each one, but and then a lot of times I'm kind of shooting from the hip and I'm going instinctually by what the other actor is giving me. There's so many different ways to it. That's my own personal preference, and it works for me every time. I like to have the groundwork there because then I go on feeling safe. And I talk to the director. You know, I'll always have a chat with the director if I can, and rehearsals are always a great time to be able to do that and you know, have a two-way conversation. They've got a strong idea of what they want. You might have something that's slightly different, and offer up some choices. And do the research. You know, if you're playing a doctor, okay, well, what's it like to be a doctor? There's you know, loads of YouTube videos and things like that out there. The accent, practicing your accent. There's loads of ways to build a character. People watching.
Oh, I love that. People
That's
watching.
a big one, isn't it? A lot of people I speak to say people watching is like one of their main ways of just learning what people are like and picking up characteristics.
Characteristics, you know, what's your character walk like if they're different to you? Do they have a slightly different walk, you know? A character that I'm playing, Roxy in the Syndicate, she's really she wears these white Doc Martens and heavy jeans, and she's got a bit of more of a, she's really into bands and stuff like that, which was slightly different to what I'm like. And how does she walk and move her body? That's slightly different to mine.
That's really
to me.
helpful.
Sorry. Yeah.
I think I'll be writing that down after I've listened to it.
Playlist is always good as well. I have a playlist for every character that I've ever played.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Music playlist.
Nice.
Do you send them out? Do you send them out to people? Do you like have it open to the public?
No, that's my own personal work, and it's maybe, you know, if anyone ever asked for it, but it's so personal to me what my character would listen to. I remember when I did Easter's East, it was set in the 70s, so I had to research of what songs were out in the 70s, 60s and 70s that my character would have loved listening to. She would have been listening to Lady Gaga, you know, it would have been some 70s, 60s and 70s song, and I just listened to it, you know. And if you ever feel like if you're doing a long run of something and you kind of need to touch back with who you are as that character, you can just pop it on before you go and set.
Yeah. It's so funny because I just did this series, and I had this playlist of songs that I loved for my character, and I thought she was a proper like rock head, like proper metal, and then after they'd cut it all together and it was sent out, they'd put meditative music over instead of her listening to rock music.
Wow.
And it was so I did not see that for her, but okay.
Complete opposite as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so like when I go back, I'm gonna have to either completely change my playlist or it completely worked for the character to just listen.
I think it worked. Keep it. It worked.
And it's funny, isn't it, how different they see it too.
If it worked for you, and it got you into your character, it doesn't matter. The meditative music is probably for the ambience of the film as well. The series, I mean.
Yeah.
Do you have any funny audition stories?
I've got a few disaster stories. Oh goodness me! There was an audition that I did last year, and it was actually just a chemistry read. There's four of us girls and four boys, and it's all about couples and stuff like that. And we had to have a chemistry read, so all the girls with all the boys. I don't know. I had to audition with all four boys anyway. But in the scene, in the script, she takes her clothes off, and they've got all these execs sitting in front of me: the casting director, the director, and the other actor. And I just got so in the scene, I took my top off. And at the end of it, the casting director looked at the other actor and went, no. And then the next boy, she went, just so you know, Taj, are you going to take your top off just so we can let the other actor know? And I looked at her to be like, oh, I should not have done that. Because she was like, just to warn you, Taj did take her top off in the other thing. Oh, it was mortifying. Absolutely mortifying. And the character was really, really cold, and it was a comedy scene. So I kept doing this thing where I was like rubbing my nipples to make me warm because I thought they'd be cold. No one got the joke. No one laughed. And for some reason, I kept doing it. And it was landing like a lead balloon. No one knew what I was doing, and I just kept getting up and doing this.
Oh my god!
Because in my head, I thought she's a bit cold. She's got a bit of a nip on. It's freezing. It's funny.
Yeah.
No one laughed or knew what the hell I was doing.
Well, at least they'll remember you.
And that was the same audition with taking my top off. So, and they got back to my agent and was like. They emailed my agent saying, well, there was some interesting choices made. Didn't get the job, needless to say, but yeah. What? And I went away and I thought, why did I do that?
You're committed.
It just shows that you were in character. You were in the moment.
And not funny at all. Yeah, so, yeah, I've shamed myself a few times in the room, so.
I love it. Oh,
I cannot wait to see you on Graham Norton one day.
Reliving that.
With-
Reliving that absolutely awful.
Brilliant.
oh.
Ishrat, have you ever had an interview that's been awkward or embarrassing, or, I mean, maybe not to the point of like taking your top off. I don't know if you need to do that in an interview, but
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have actually. There was one. It was for it was like an interview with the head teacher about something. I don't remember what it was, but I kept on saying the word like because I was so nervous, and I'd never talked to her before, and she was new, and I kept on stuttering. But it was okay at the end. I was really nervous though. I remember trying to like rehearse for an interview. Like I didn't know what she was going to ask me, but it was really scary. And then it turned out okay.
Yeah, I've probably said like about 50 million times on each episode of this podcast, so I wouldn't worry about it. I don't know what it is. It just comes out.
The word like.
Yeah, I say it so often.
I've noticed this saying that people keep on saying 100%. Oh yeah, 100%. And where did this come from? Is it me or did
so much?
But that never,
new, isn't it?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that is new. That did not exist when I was younger.
No.
This 100%
No, it didn't.
saying. Have you heard anyone? Did you ever used to say it when you were younger? Because I did not.
We didn't. No,
Or maybe you did,
I don't
maybe-
think we said 100%, but I've realised that it's become a thing.
I was just like, am I not cool enough?
Yeah.
Why is everyone saying 100% all of a sudden?
Yeah, I say it so often.
All these new little isms. But like, the word like is a new ism as well. That would never... That's a global thing people have started saying. Like. And literally. The word literally.
Literally. Yeah, that one.
I literally just took my top off in an audition. Like that kind of vibe. I 100% shamed myself in the audition.
100%. I found that I've been saying I think a lot, just like to save me from getting something wrong. I've been like, oh yeah, no, I think.
To
Yeah,
like
no,
back
I think
yourself
that-
up, even though you
Yeah.
know you're 100% right.
Yeah. I think I just went to get a coffee. Yes, Alicia, you have it in your hand.
Oh, okay, I know what you mean. I think I just went to a coffee. Wow, okay. Oh, don't. I'll start saying it. I'm so spineless. I just copy what everyone else does. I do it with accents as well. I start copying everyone else's accent. If I spend a certain amount of time with people like Branwen in Wales, I just started going Welsh.
But that's brilliant though. Like that's great for learning an accent when you're with someone, because how else are you going to learn it really? Like it's
I hope,
on YouTube.
As long as people don't think it's like borderline offensive, you know, that I'm not copying them for that. It's just that I find it so intriguing and I just have an ear to it that I just naturally start doing it back to them.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? I'm wondering whether you can do it or not as well.
Yeah.
Like a game for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love accents, and I'm always, me and my pals are always, weirdly, you know, I live on my own now, but when I used to live with housemates and stuff, some were actresses and stuff, we'd spend a whole day in a different accent. Birmingham, Newcastle, we'd go to Wales and back.
Yeah. I feel like we used to do that quite a lot, Leash, didn't we? I feel like that's how I learned how to do America. I mean, I still can't do it very well, but like we used to always talk in a southern accent for like a whole year.
Wow. Weirdly, London was the hardest one to master for me.
Yeah, I can't do London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, London. I have to start at RP and then try and break it down a bit.
There's so many different accents, you know, around every corner, isn't there?
Yeah.
Of the UK. So
can you tell, Taiwo, where someone is from in London from their accent?
Usually, I mean, I'm from East London, so I can definitely tell when someone's from East London. I feel like that one is the one that stands out most for me. Other ones you can sort of tell by like the little words they say, but East London definitely I can tell.
Why is it so different? Because I'm, you know, to Southwest or West, or what is it that makes it? I'm trying to take notes basically for any characters that I might play in future, and I'm like, what is it that makes it different? Just so I know in future.
I honestly can't even tell you. Like you just know. I think just because I've been in East London all my life, so I just know how they speak. I think it's just more, and also the words that they say as well, like the slang that's in East London is different to that of like South London, so just little words and stuff more than accent.
Are you also from East London, Ishrat? I heard you agreeing.
Yeah, I am.
Do you use any slang words that we should learn?
No, I don't use slang words, but it's easy to identify what part of London someone's from, just by listening to how they talk.
Okay.
Yeah, especially East London. I think that's the most distinct.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I guess if you're from here, you can hear it. My friend's from London. He was saying the other day, he was speaking to someone. He was like, "Oh yeah, he's from Croydon." Like he could just tell what area in London, like what borough he was from. I was like, "What? How?
No, I can't tell.
How can you tell?"
No,
That's very specific.
Yeah.
And then people have got like an estuary. My dad's got a really estuary kind of broader London accent because they're from Kent, kind of, you know.
Oh yeah.
Bit more EastEnders. But like, do you know what I mean? No, I can't really describe it. It's like don't know. I still haven't mastered it. We'll all be me and Alicia will be hitting you up, Taiwo, with
Yeah.
Send us voice notes.
Need some serious learning in the East London. I'm from East London, but I don't know if I sound.
Oh, are you?
Well, I live in Essex, but I'm further out.
Born and bred?
Well, I was born in Watford, so I'm from the north. But I grew up in Essex, which was around like the kinds of people who talk with very flow.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I definitely haven't taken that on I'm more East London, I think.
Yeah.
If you could relearn something, what would it be? Or if you could be told something that you were never told before when you were younger?
Oof, what a good question. Oh, it's hard. You lot go first.
I think I would like to have been told to explore my options and not be so single-minded, because I think I was very like, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna be, but then I actually found out that I didn't like it and I didn't want to be that. So I think I would tell myself to explore all my options, and not be don't be single-minded. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Oh my goodness.
I think if I were younger, I'd like someone to tell me to like be more focused on like maths and sciences at school, because like I don't know if like I think those are, if you take that kind of route when you're older, it's like you're guaranteed a career kind of, and then like other things are just so like uncertain, and sometimes I find myself getting like really scared, like what if I'm not good enough to be what I want to be when I'm older. And if I just like been more like good at other things when I was younger, I wouldn't be as like terrified of the future as I am now.
I think just, this is my personal opinion, but I think I failed maths twice.
Failed it 3. The only other person I've met who's also failed it as much as me. Wow.
It wasn't for me. I still ended up going to A levels, and then in the end I didn't go to uni or didn't go anywhere with the choices I'd made, really. At school, it was, perseverance and hard work on what I wanted to do. If I knew what I wanted to do, I just went, I'm going to do it, and nothing was going to stop me. So I think
Yeah.
where you are is amazing, and I think you should be proud of where you are.
Definitely should be proud.
If
yeah.
that
And don't feel too afraid, because like Leisha was saying, it doesn't define your future what you got, what grades you got in school. And by the sounds of it, I mean, you're mentoring a senior police officer in the Met.
Literally.
So I wouldn't worry. I think you're doing just fine, and yeah, you're amazing.
Thank you.
And Taj.
Such a hard question. Right, repeat the question to me and let me think.
What would you have liked to have been told when you were younger?
Don't worry so much, maybe. Just don't worry so much. And it's okay to make what society perceive as mistakes, because you just live and learn from them. And I don't like the word fail, but, in that vein of it's okay to get something wrong, because there is really no wrong. You're just going to learn from that, and everything that you feel like you've messed up is only bringing you down the path and taking down the path of where you're supposed to be. You have to make mistakes to learn and grow and expand. There is no wrong and right way of doing anything. And shoot for the moon. Go for the big stuff. Go for it. You only got one life. Don't go for mediocre or second, third, fourth best. Just go for whatever you think, genuinely what you want. No dream is too big.
100%. I didn't even mean to do that.
Literally, 100%.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming on today. It's been such a pleasure chatting to you all, and
Thank
so
you.
inspiring hearing all your stories.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. This has been amazing.
You've been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, ladies.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.